The identity compass. A coaching gimmick masquerading as science. In the world of coaching, there's a constant push to introduce cutting-edge tools that claim to revolutionize the field. The identity compass is one such tool, marketed as a way to objectively map out thinking patterns and bring a scientific approach to coaching. However, a closer examination reveals that it is little more than a structured journaling exercise repackaged as an elite coaching method. The grand claim, turning subjectivity into objectivity. The identity compass is promoted as a game changer because it allegedly moves coaching beyond subjective conversations into the realm of objective, factual data. In the words of its advocates, traditional coaching, even developmental coaching, works within the interaction of the coach's and client's subjective experiences. The major problem with this is that the coach has no external reference or context. They can only rely on what the client believes is important, which is, of course, limited by the client's own perspective. The premise here is that coaching has always been too subjective, that both the coach and client are working within their own limited maps of understanding. The solution, according to Identity Compass, is to introduce an objective framework that supposedly extracts and structures the client's thoughts in a scientific way. How does it do this? Through forced choice questioning that leads to a predefined identity map, the reality. A fancy journal with a coach interpreting your answers. At its core, the Identity Compass is nothing more than a structured self-reflection tool. It gathers responses from the client, organizes them into a framework, and presents them as objective data. But here's the problem. It's still based on subjective answers. You fill out the questionnaire based on your own perceptions, biases, and moods at the time. The system then categorizes your responses into rigid patterns, but those categories were predefined by the creators of the tool, not discovered scientifically. The illusion of objectivity is created by the structure, but the content is still entirely subjective. The coach becomes the interpreter of your own thoughts. If a client questions the results, they are told, "I didn't fill this out, you did." This is a classic power play in coaching. It shifts responsibility entirely onto the client, while reinforcing the authority of the tool and the coach. If a client rejects their results, the coach can simply say, "We can even identify the reason for your disagreement using the map." This is circular logic at its finest. Doubt is not seen as a reason to question the method. Instead, it is used as further proof that the system works. It's a sales tactic disguised as a breakthrough. Coaches are told that the Identity Compass makes their work far more accurate and powerful. For me, after 15 years of coaching, Identity Compass showed me that I had been guessing up until that point. This creates doubt in experienced coaches, leading them to believe that without this tool, they are just guessing. It's also positioned as a shortcut to coaching mastery, claiming, instead of taking 5 years to develop deep coaching intuition, this tool helps coaches refine their skills in 2 or 3 years. In reality, this is just a clever sales pitch, offering a quick fix that removes the need for deep understanding. How this mirrors cult-like coaching practices. The Identity Compass is not just a tool, it's a framework designed to keep clients and coaches locked into a system. It claims to reveal deep cognitive patterns, but in reality, it just forces personal insights into predefined categories. It positions itself as an essential tool, making coaches feel that they cannot be effective without it. It preempts resistance by framing doubt as just another cognitive pattern to be corrected. This is how cult-like coaching models operate. They create a superior framework, convince people that they need it, and then use the framework itself to dismiss any challenge to its legitimacy. The alternative, taking back your own reflection process. The truth is, you don't need an Identity Compass to explore your thinking patterns. In reality, what this tool offers is no different from a structured journal, except with someone else controlling the interpretation. Instead of relying on an external framework to tell you who you are, consider keeping your own journal, where your insights evolve naturally, rather than being forced into categories. Asking open-ended questions, instead of being limited by a forced choice system. Recognizing that identity is fluid, not something that can be mapped once and declared as objective data. The emperor has no clothes. The Identity Compass is not a scientific breakthrough. It's a repackaged personal journal with a coach acting as the expert interpreter. It claims to transform coaching, but in reality, it just creates a controlled system where both coaches and clients become dependent on a tool that doesn't actually do anything groundbreaking. The real game changer is realizing that you don't need it. Self-reflection, when done without external manipulation, is far more powerful than any coaching gimmick.